United have a very important run of fixtures coming up this December, and that time we've all been dreading is upon us now, as 3 very important players are set to leave for AFCON.
Please don't go.
All have trained ahead of that Bournemouth game on Monday night, but as I'm recording this, we still don't know whether they're going to be able to actually play for United against Bournemouth or not. And after that, they'll miss United's next 4 games at least, and maybe more if their country gets further into the competition. In today's video, I want to take a look at why AFCON now is really highlighting the shoddy in your squad building and how Amorim is going to set his team up now in the month of December. As always, guys, drop a like if you enjoy the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it.
Right, okay, let's go.
Why does it matter then? Well, on paper, you can see United's whole right-hand side that we've run the last couple of games is set to be absolutely decimated. It's this right-hand side, particularly in attack, that has provided any sort of spark United might have had to start this season. And with Mbuemo, he's one of the only signings that we've made in recent seasons that has hit the ground running. And it's not crazy to say now that he's one of the best right-wingers in world football right now. Even playing slightly out of position in Amorim's setup, playing as a number 10, he still looked like he's worth every penny of the money United spent on him. And with Ahmad, simply put, this back 5 stuff does not work without him, full stop. Yes, he might struggle defensively at times, but without him, it's safe to say we have next to nothing going forward. Whenever Amorim has gone with the 2 fullbacks playing at wing-back, that's when United start to lose games. And what's worrying me right now is when Ahmad is out, we're just going to be running that week in, week out.
No! God, please, no! No!
And lastly, Mazraoui, who has struggled with injuries to start this season. But it's clear that Amorim is a huge fan of him, and when he's playing in that right centre-back spot, he has obvious upsides compared to someone like Euro, particularly in possession. And in my opinion, Mazraoui is a very underrated player, and another player who's playing largely out of position in Amorim's setup, but to his credit, largely performs 7 out of 10 most weeks. And now what will Amorim do with these lot out? Change formation, perhaps? Nah, didn't think so. So as I said earlier, we're more likely to see that 2 fullback stuff at wing-back largely throughout this next month. And it's never worked before, and I really just don't see it changing. I'd love to be proved wrong, but it's not hard to see why this stuff really doesn't work. At least when we have Ahmad in there, you've got 5 attackers on the pitch then. For United, that's the least you really expect. But without Ahmad, you're largely running just 4 attackers in that starting lineup. So it's not hard to see then why United do sometimes struggle for open play goals. You're left largely with defenders in these attacking positions, and you don't see that at many other teams in the Premier League. For me, most sane managers would move to a back 4 so you can play the fullbacks in their most natural position. But we know now that that simply just isn't happening. And to be honest, when you're looking at our wide options anyway, we just don't really have anything going for us. With our team for the next few weeks, we're going to have to hope that the injured players do come back into fitness. Seshko, De Ligt and Maguire, we're going to need them back now. And there's no way United will let Mino be free just yet. So they'll continue to ruin his career that little bit longer. With these 3 heading off now, it does highlight how light United are in attacking areas. We were shipping off the so-called bad apples last summer. But now we're left a few injuries away from fielding a starting 11 of purely defenders. It could also be a great opportunity for youth players such as Shea Lacey to finally see some minutes. But if these players can't see minutes, even in games like up against Wolves when we were 4-1 up last 10-20 minutes of the game, prime opportunity to give Lacey his debut. Does Amorim do it? No. So when he's talking about trusting these youth players now, it's not really hard to see why I don't trust him.
Alright then, keep your secrets.
And now going into the starting 11s that I think Amorim is going to use, and to me it's rather uninspiring. This was the team that we saw up against Wolves, but you can see that right-hand side of United about to be decimated. So I think largely for United now we're going to see something like this. It does depend heavily on De Ligt's fitness. If he is fit, definitely expect him to come back in. If that is the case, then I think we're going to see Euro back in that right-hand side. Obviously, Dalot, I think, will shift back over the right-hand side. Left wing back is going to be up for discussion a little bit. But I still think that Amorim will stick with Casemiro and Fernandes in the middle of the pitch. He's shown no signs of really going away from that at all during the season. there's been prime opportunity to play Mino so far. We've just played 3 games in 1 week. And I think Mino's had a combined sort of 30 minutes of play, something like that. So if Amorim really wanted to play him, he would have done so by now. So I think obviously we're going to see more of Mount. If he's fit, stays fit, Seshko, if he managed to come back in, see more of him up top. But I think this is largely what we're going to see. 2 fullbacks playing in that wing-back area. As I've said, so to me it's all just rather uninspiring. But then what could happen, obviously potentially, you could see Mino coming into that centre midfield spot. Are United going to try and convince him that there are minutes for him in this team? You could easily just push Fernandes into one of the 10 positions then. For me, I think this gives you a better balance. I've always said Fernandes, being in that midfield pivot, he's wasted. We saw up against Wolves what can happen when he plays that little bit further forward. He was allowed to up against Wolves from that pivot because the amount of space that they allowed, obviously United playing more on that front foot, particularly in the second half. But when we're going up against better teams in the league, the likes of Villa, the likes of Newcastle, having that midfield free that those 2 teams have, Fernandes is not going to be able to play as far forward as he did up against Wolves. So I would like to see him moved to one of those 10 spots now, but I just don't see Amorim doing it. And then what could also happen in the back 3, we could see the reintroduction of Martinez into that starting lineup. We've slowly seen him now start to be reintroduced. He did have a run out at centre back, but I can't see that really being viable up against most teams in the Premier League. So I expect him to move out to left centre back. Can Luke Shaw play in that left wing back role? Amorim has said that he can in the past, but we've yet to see it. I think that would give us the more sort of attacking balance. I don't mind Dogu, but Dogu is very defensively minded, and I think he just suits a back 4, as simple as that. I think Luke Shaw would at least give you a little bit more in attack, but does he have the engine left in him now to really do that shift back and forth? We'll have to just see. I just, again, can't see Amorim really going there, but we'll have to wait and see. But with Martinez, like Mazraoui on the right-hand side, Amorim does really like Martinez in left centre-back. He just gives you those passing options that some of the other players just simply don't. So I do expect Martinez to play a bigger role now in the coming weeks. And then also I spoke about other managers potentially going to a back 4. But why now? That's really just kind of not viable for United right now. And you can see here, the United, you've got a decent structure going. You've obviously got a back 4 that looks pretty solid. You've got a midfield 3 that looks really good. And it's what a lot of people have been asking for, to get Mino in there alongside Casemiro and Fernandes. But you're looking at the attacking options now, and United have so little. Striker, fair enough, that's grand. But you're looking at left wing, Cunha, he's not a winger. And then right wing, with Mbuemo and Ahmad gone, United just don't really have anyone that can play out there. Obviously, we've seen in previous iterations of United, Fernandes playing out there in certain spells, so that could potentially be an option. But then you're looking at who's going to replace him in midfield, and United overall just look a bit light now with these 3 players going to AFCON, and it's always been my major worry for weeks, and I've spoken about it. All of our attacking play, so much of it comes through Ahmad's dribbling on the right-hand side, comes through that link-up that he's had with Mbuemo. And then obviously with Mazraoui then, he's also a big player for Amorim. Hasn't played much yet this season, but I think we have missed him at times. But obviously the biggest miss is going to be Ahmad and Mbuemo from this team, as most of our attacking play, apart from Fernandes, has really run through those 2 guys. It's going to be a time now really for Cunha to step up. It has to be. He has to really take the reins. Mount has performed decently this season. Seshko, if he comes back in as well, they've all got to step up now. As simple as that. It's going to be next man up, because Mbuemo and Ahmad, they've been the large proportion of what United's attack has been. So now, with them gone, United should have been preparing for this. I was surprised even up against Wolves that we played that right-hand side the way we did, because have we really prepared these players enough? You're looking at players like Mino. Have they really had the minutes to really come into this team now? And that's why I said with Shea Lacey, it would have been the prime opportunity to give him some minutes up against Wolves. But Amorim didn't. So are you going to throw him into a game now up against the likes of Villa, Newcastle, some really tough games in the Premier League? For me, I don't think United have really set themselves up well enough. Give other players minutes. Xerxes only really got minutes in the last few weeks because Seshko's been injured. I expect him to continue playing if Seshko's not. I don't mind Xerxes. I think if you play to his strengths, I think he's a very decent player. But I think United really struggled to do that with a lot of their players. Now, you're looking at Amorim's current setup right now, and I think largely most players are really out of position. And it's those full-back areas, obviously full-backs playing as wing-back is a prime example of that. Something that I've never really liked under Amorim, something that he keeps doing. But we've seen under Amorim that he's very reluctant to change, whether he just thinks that he's always right, I don't know. But the results for United now in this next month, we can use the excuse of having these players gone for AFCON. But Amorim himself now, people talking about, we're only 1 defeat in 9. But to me, it's all been rather uninspiring. So this next run of games now is going to be very crucial to Amorim's United. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. And I'll catch you in the next one.